Can I use the GoPro Hero 7 Black as my main YouTube studio camera? Let's find out. So the camera that I use for all my YouTube videos is the Canon 77D. It's a DSLR camera, but it does not have any fancy features. It only films up to 1080p, 60 frames per second, no 4K, no super slow motion like 120 frames per second. So it's a pretty good camera, but it's nothing fancy. And this is the camera that I use for all my YouTube videos. It's working pretty good, the image quality is decent enough, and most importantly, it's really reliable. But I was wondering to myself today, can I replace my DSLR camera, the Canon 77D, with the GoPro Hero 7 Black and use this camera as my YouTube studio camera? And that's what I'm gonna try to do today. I'm gonna try to imitate this image that you're seeing right now, but using the GoPro Hero 7 Black. It's gonna be really fun. In order to do that, I will need to change a couple of things. First of all, I will need to change some settings on the GoPro Hero 7 Black, and then I will need to change my room a little bit. So these are the settings that I'm going to use. First of all, I'm going to film at 2.7K, and the reason why I'm filming at 2.7K and not 4K is because in 4K, you don't have the linear field of view. So I am going to use 2.7K, 24 frames per second. Now the next important setting, shutter. I will have to reduce my shutter speed to 148, which is double the frame rate. And the reason why I'm reducing my shutter speed is not because of motion blur, but because I don't want the GoPro change the shutter speed and hence change the exposure. I just want it to be locked as much as possible so I'll have more control of the exposure. The next thing that I'm going to do is change the white balance. I'm going to change it from automatic to 5500K because this is the light that I'm using in my YouTube studio. So 5500K. And then the most important thing, I'm going to change the ISO values. This is really important. If you want to have the best image quality out of your GoPro or out of any camera for that matter, you will need to reduce your ISO to the minimum number as much as possible. So I'm going to put ISO minimum 200 and I'm going to put ISO maximum as well 200. I'm just going to lock it at 200. I think 100 ISO would be too low, 200 seems to be fine. And then the rest is pretty much the same, sharpness medium, color I'm gonna choose flat because I'm gonna correct the image in post-production. Nothing really fancy, I'm just gonna correct the contrast, the exposure, and so on and so forth. So I'm gonna leave the picture profile at flat, sharpness medium, ISO 200, 200, white balance, 5500K, shutter speed 148, field of view, I'm going to choose linear, and then resolution 2.7K and 24 frames per second. Okay, so now I'm going to move around some stuff. I'm going to have to move my table a little bit more forward, and also I'll have to move my light a little bit closer to the wall. And obviously I'm going to move this light with the table and also my microphone boom setup with the table. And the reason why I'm moving everything is because the GoPro has a wide field of view and I want to have everything as cramped as possible so nothing will show up on the sides and to have as clean of a setup as possible like I always have when I'm filming with this camera. So let's start moving our stuff and then we're going to set up the GoPro on the tripod and see how well the image quality looks. Now I'm gonna move the light. So right now I'm filming with the GoPro Hero 7 Black and this is the image that you get with 24 frames per second, 2.7K, linear field of view, 5500 white balance, ISO minimum 200, ISO maximum 200, shutter speed 148. This is the image quality that you get and this is what I'm using to get this setup. I have my phone in here to use as a monitor. I have my GoPro. I have the big source of light, really important. I have my small little light in there, acts as a fill light. And I have the big table that you see, the white table. And also behind me, I have this blue light. And the microphone that I'm using at this moment is the Rode SmartLav Plus. I'm not using the audio on the GoPro Hero 7 Black, but this is how the GoPro Hero 7 Black looks as a YouTube studio setup. I think it looks really great, at least on my smartphone, I have a little bit of a shadow here, as you can see from my head, but that's because from the fill light, I can move it around and play around with it and then remove the shadow. And also you can see this door here in the background. I can also move the table a little bit closer to the wall and then remove also the door and remove the shadow and maybe change a little bit the background, I mean the color and stuff, and make it a little bit different. But the overall quality looks really great. It's definitely possible to run like a tech review YouTube channel with the GoPro Hero 7 Black, but it's really important to have decent audio and big source of lighting. If I did not have this lighting right now at this moment, this is how the image would look like. Something like this. The light makes a lot of difference, a huge difference in image quality. So can you use the GoPro Hero 7 Black as a YouTube studio camera? You definitely can. From what I'm seeing now on my smartphone, it looks really great. I would say even it looks somehow comparable to my DSLR with like a kit lens or something like this. So it looks really awesome. Definitely possible to run a whole YouTube channel with just a GoPro Hero 7 Black, but it's really important to have big source of lighting and also decent audio. So I hope you enjoyed this video and found it informative, and let me know down below if you like my new t-shirt or not. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.